Hello again, we're off to Wales in the motorhome. It's the Caving Club BBQ weekend this weekend, and hopefully Summer and her boyfriend Tom are joining me later on. They're going to stop in the tent. Then after the weekend is over, I'm going to drive across to Nottingham, where I'm on a training course for the week. Then on Friday I'm going to head up into the Peak District, and Nikki and our granddaughter and Georgina from Texas is hopefully joining us. So it's a bit of a complicated plan. Let's hope it all goes well. It's Thursday evening at the moment. I've just finished work and I don't know if I'm going to get all the way to Wales tonight. I might have to stop part way depending on traffic, I suppose. It's reasonably early, I've got away okay, it's about 4:30, literally just left. So yeah, we'll see what the traffic's like. Oh, there's a bit of traffic getting out of Cambridge here on the A14, but now it's fine quite nicely. Well, I've just stopped at services where there's a Marks and Spencer's shop to stock up with a bit of odds and ends, and bizarrely I've somehow managed to buy 2 tubs of butter. Don't really know why I did that. At least we've got something to eat with the meat that we've already got in the fridge, so we can stop anywhere we like tonight and be assured that we've got a good meal in the van. Right, well, I'm at Hopwood Park Services. It's about 7:30 in the evening. I'm going to use the Camping and Caravanning Club app on the phone to see if there's any sites nearby that I might be able to stay at.
Turn right.
I'm not going to turn right, I'm stopping here for a little while. Okay, well that wasn't quite as easy as it might have been. I made a few phone calls, had a few people just not answer. One person was full up, they've got a caravan rally on, so heading for a place called the Old Bush, which is about half an hour away, so we'll see what it's like when we get there. Well, there we go, the Old Bush is in fact a pub, a very nice pub as well by the look of it. So I've just been in and paid for the pitch. Bit of a steep gravelly slope to get up. The old girl scrabbled a bit to get up this gravel, but the pitches are nice and level, and there we are on the second one up on the right. So yeah, not a bad place to stay really by the look of it. Got some chickens in a cage there. Got the football on in a marquee down there, or the football on a big screen in the marquee down there. Might pop down there and have something to eat once I've set the motorhome up. Not going to do much right now, I don't think. Just connect it to the electric so the fridge is running, and that'll do, I think, for just the one night. I did notice a little bit of a strange smell as we're coming along, and it does look as if we might have a little problem. The battery is venting quite a lot, so I think I might disconnect the negative terminal just in case, although I suspect while we're stationary there won't be a problem. In fact, that's yeah, bubbling away quite nicely, so yeah, maybe there's a charging regulation problem there. Well, that battery is pretty hot. I'm going to let it cool down for a little while, maybe have a cup of tea, and then I'm going to remove it from the truck and just clean that area down a little bit with some water, just in case any acid spilled over the battery tray. Then I guess in the morning we'll start the van up off it and check the charging voltage. Should be somewhere between 13 and or 13.5 and 14.5 volts, I'm guessing. If it's outside of that, we may have a dodgy alternator perhaps. If it's inside that, we might have a duff battery, but the battery is relatively new. Yeah, it's certainly less than a year old, so that would be particularly annoying because it's a £100 battery. I guess if the charging voltage is okay, we'll take it and we'll head to the nearest Halfords and try and not boil over the battery on the way, and get the battery checked. Now I've carefully removed the battery and stuck it under the van there to cool off. And I've rinsed down the battery tray with some clean water and the little bits and pieces around it. It didn't actually look as if there had been much splashing going on of acid, but better to be safe than sorry, I guess. Oh, well, with that little palaver, I've missed the last orders for food in the pub because it's now 20 past 9. They stopped serving food at 9, so I have to cook something in the van now. Oh, I've got a nice bit of lamb in the oven now. I'll tell you what though, at least the view isn't bad out the back door, eh? Look at that. Telegraph pole. Oh, I've finally got myself a brew, and not a moment too soon. Oh, well, I do at least have a nice meal of lamb and veg, a nice brew to go with it, and an excellent view. Just hope this isn't the first and last night of the whole trip. We'll find out tomorrow. Oh, we've also even got some dessert. Oh well, morning everyone. It's Friday morning. I'm up at about 5 to 7. Gonna have a little bit of breakfast and see if we can work out what's going on. Oh, well, I've had my breakfast. Great views of the Malvern Hills over there. Right, well, first things first. Check the battery. Getting 13.4 volts out of the battery with it disconnected. That seems okay. So, well, the battery's back in. Let's start her up and see what the charging voltage is. Well, the charging voltage is yeah, over 18 volts. So, yeah, I'd say that's the alternator, I suppose. Well, there it is. Not particularly easy to get to, but I guess I might be able to get it off. There is a place nearby that rebuilds alternators, so I'll give them a call when they open and see if they think they can help me. Well, 9:30's arrived. I've called the alternator people and they think they should be able to help, so I'm going to see if I can nurse the van there. It's about 35 minutes away, so fingers crossed I can get there. They won't take the alternator off for me, they only repair the alternators, so I'll have to find somewhere to park and see if I can get the alternator off for them to fix. A lot could go wrong, right? But we're going to give it a shot. Oh, well, I've got the alternator off. There's the repair place here are testing it at the moment. Nice fella at S&K Car Repairs lent me some tools, so I'm going to have a brew now and then go back and see how the testing of the alternator has gone just round the corner. Well, I was just making the fellas in the garage a brew to thank them for the use of their tools. I've just been over to the alternator place to see how things are progressing, and unfortunately they haven't got the correct brush set for the alternator, but they have got a BMW set that's almost identical, so they're going to try fitting that, but there's also a bolt that's broken as well. So they're struggling a little bit at the minute, but they're still pressing on, so we're still in the game. Let's see what happens in a little while. Oh, might as well have a spot of lunch while we wait. Use up some of that butter, eh? Oh, well, so far this isn't exactly the trip I planned. Just sitting and waiting now. Hoping that these alternator guys will be able to pull something off. If they can't, I'm a bit screwed. I don't know if they work Saturdays or not, or if I'm going to have to camp here on this industrial estate maybe until Monday, but that will then affect the course I'm on in Nottingham, or maybe they'll give me the alternator back and I can sort of limp the thing out onto a road somehow and then call the AA and get towed back. They're my contingency plans, my option B and C, I suppose. But let's hold out for option A. Yeah, go option A. Well, splendid news. The alternator's back. The guys finished it off, but then had a problem with their card machine, so they couldn't accept my card. So another fella who was having a starter motor repaired for his tractor, gave me a lift to the cash machine. So yeah, now I'm just putting it back on again. This earth cable looks a bit dicky. Might put some tape over there before I connect it back up again. And we're off again. Battery charging consistently at 14.4 volts. I never doubted we'd solve this in a second. Yes, back on the road to Penwilt. And definitely big thanks to the guys at the starter bay who rebuilt my alternator. I'll put their details in the description below. Turns out it was the regulator which had failed, but also unfortunately the housing at the back of the alternator was severely corroded. The bearing inside also hadn't failed, but was in a state where they thought it wise to replace it, and because the housing was corroded, a lot of the bolts had seized into it, so it was pretty much unusable. So fortunately they had a spare housing knocking around, would you believe, for a 1990 Citroen. So yeah, fantastic. Now, with an interesting new development, I've just stopped to fill up with fuel, and I can't get the bonnet open now. The catch seems to have jammed. No immediate issue, because I did check the oil just before we set off and it was okay, so don't need to solve this immediately, but we'll definitely need to sort that out at some point fairly soon. Oh, a bit further on, and I've stopped to have a wee, and I've managed to release the bonnet. What it was is, when I put the leisure battery on, I put the strap that holds it in a slightly different place, and the latch for the strap was sticking up into the bonnet liner where the cable for the release goes, and jamming against it. So fortunately a bit of wiggling just freed that up. Right, now let's see if we can get to Penwilt. Finally got here, and not before time too. It's taken about 25 hours to get here. It's about 5:30 on Friday, and I left at 4:30 on Saturday, but van's set up in front of the hut. Now, the camping field's a little bit overgrown, but I'm going to put the tent up for Summer and Tom, but one of the poles is a bit split, so I have to bind that up with some tape, I think. I just nipped to Tesco's to pick up some essentials for later on. Our jumbo Swiss roll for £1. So the tent's up, ready for when Summer and Tom get here. Had a nice meal of fish and chips, and just out enjoying the lovely evening. Look how fantastic the weather is. What a marvellous place to be. Pretty lucky really to be able to come here and enjoy it. There's the van there and the stump. Excellent. I'm going to take the time now to top off the tanks with some fresh water, because I'm running a little bit low. So look at the view from my back door. Crikey, you can't beat that really, can you? Oh, that's quite a long day, but very nice to see everyone again. And now it's time for bed, I think. Rather tired. Oh, good night everyone. Well, that's all for now. If you enjoyed it, press like. Subscribe if you want to see some more. And ring the bell to be notified when we upload something new.